Do you really control your choices? It seems like a simple question, but the answer might be far more uncomfortable than you think. Studies show that up to 95% of your decisions are made by your subconscious before you even realize it. This means that most of what you do, feel, and believe isn't the result of conscious thought. So, who's really in control of your life? What few people know is that there are psychological secrets that aren't widely discussed and could completely change your understanding of how your mind works. If you think you're in control, get ready to question everything you've ever believed about your own mind. Today, you'll discover 4 subconscious secrets that psychology doesn't want you to know. And the last one might completely change how you see your own decisions. So, if you want to understand why you make certain choices, feel certain emotions, and even repeat patterns without realizing it, keep watching. The answers to many of these questions may be hidden deep in your subconscious. Imagine walking into a perfume store where soft classical music is playing. Without noticing, you feel more inclined to buy a sophisticated product, as if it were a natural choice. Now, step into another store playing upbeat pop music. Your decision might change, and you wouldn't even realize why. This is the priming effect, one of the subconscious mind's most powerful secrets. Priming happens when subtle stimuli influence your perception and behavior without your awareness. Studies have shown that even seemingly harmless words can shape actions in surprising ways. In a famous experiment, people who read words related to old age, like tired and retirement, started walking slower without realizing it. Their brains absorbed the meaning of these words and automatically adjusted their behavior. Now, think about this in your daily life. What kind of content do you consume on social media? What do you read in the news? What kinds of words and images surround you every day? All of these things could be shaping your actions without you noticing. Politicians, businesses, and advertisers understand this and use it to influence your decisions. A simple detail on a product's packaging could trigger an old memory and make you choose it without an apparent reason. And it doesn't stop there. Priming also affects your emotions. Constant exposure to negative news can make you feel anxious and insecure, even if you haven't personally experienced anything bad. On the other hand, hearing encouraging words can make you feel more confident and motivated. Your subconscious absorbs everything and turns these stimuli into automatic reactions. But if priming can be used to influence you without your awareness, how can you use it to your advantage? The answer lies in how you expose yourself to stimuli. Want to feel more productive? Start your day by reading something inspiring instead of diving straight into social media. Want to improve your self-esteem? Say positive words to yourself in front of a mirror, your subconscious will absorb them as truth. The real question isn't whether priming is influencing you, but how it's doing so. And once you become aware of this effect, you can start directing it in your favor. Now, think for a moment, did you actually make today's choices yourself, or had your brain already been programmed before you even realized it? If the priming effect has already surprised you, get ready for something even more unsettling. Most of your decisions are made before you even realize it. This isn't a conspiracy theory, it's a fact proven by neuroscience. Researchers conducted a fascinating experiment using MRI scans. Participants were asked to press a button with their right or left hand while their brain activity was monitored. What they discovered was shocking. The brain had already decided which button to press up to 7 seconds before the person was consciously aware of their choice. In other words, by the time you decide, your brain is already several steps ahead. This means that much of your daily decision-making isn't actually conscious. You believe you're making rational choices, but in reality, your subconscious has already made the decision for you, based on past experiences, stored emotions, and automatic patterns. Now, think about how this impacts your everyday life. Why do you always take the same route to work? Why do you feel attracted to certain types of people? Why do some brands seem more trustworthy than others? These choices could all be the result of decisions your brain made before you even became aware of them. And this is exactly why many people feel like they're living on autopilot. The subconscious follows pre-established patterns, shaped by habits and external influences, making the idea of free will more complex than it seems. If you've ever felt like you're repeating the same mistakes or patterns without knowing why, now you have a clue. But if our brains already decide for us, is there any way to regain control? Yes, and it all starts with awareness and training. The first step is to observe your decisions before acting. If you feel the urge to make an impulsive purchase, pause and ask yourself, is this choice truly mine, or was I influenced by something external? This simple act of reflection can interrupt automatic patterns. Another effective method is conscious decision-making training. Before choosing anything, whether it's a dish at a restaurant or an outfit for the day, try picking the opposite of what you would instinctively choose. This forces your brain out of autopilot mode and exercises your real decision-making ability. Now, think for a moment, what would you do differently if you knew that many of your decisions were already made before you even realized it? If your brain can decide before you're aware of it, imagine what happens when you try to avoid something. You might not notice it, but the way you think about a situation could actually be sabotaging your own results. This happens because the subconscious doesn't process the word no the way you think it does. Try the following: don't think about a pink elephant. What happened? You immediately imagined a pink elephant. This happens because the subconscious ignores negation and focuses only on the content of the message. When you say, I don't want to make a mistake, your mind zeroes in on the word mistake and reinforces exactly what you were trying to avoid. Now, think about how this affects your daily life. How many times have you tried to calm yourself down by saying, I can't get nervous, and ended up feeling even more anxious? Or told yourself, I can't forget this, only to forget it moments later. This isn't a coincidence, it's your subconscious responding to what it absorbs, without distinguishing between negative and positive phrasing. This is why high-performance athletes, business leaders, and even psychologists teach people to reframe their thoughts in a positive way. A player who repeats, I can't miss this penalty, is actually increasing their chances of missing, while the one who says, I'm going to score this penalty, is programming their mind for success. The same logic applies to any situation in life. If you often say things like, I don't want to fail, I don't want to be alone, or, I don't want to be rejected, you're unknowingly reinforcing exactly what you fear. Your subconscious registers fail, be alone, and be rejected as direct commands, increasing the chances of experiencing those situations. How to change this pattern? The key is to replace negative thoughts with positive and directed affirmations. Instead of saying, I can't be anxious, switch to, I am calm and in control. Instead of, I can't forget this, say, I will remember this at the right moment. It may seem simple, but this shift activates a new mental pattern and guides your subconscious toward what you desire, rather than what you fear. Now, try this. Think about something you've been repeating to yourself lately. How are you phrasing it? Is it negative or positive? If it's negative, reframe it right now. And from today onward, pay attention to the words you use daily. Because what you tell yourself could be the difference between achieving a goal or sabotaging yourself without realizing it. The power of repetition. Speaking of mental programming, there's an even more powerful factor that influences your life: repetition. What you repeat constantly becomes part of who you are. And this is the next subconscious secret that could completely change how you see reality. If your subconscious absorbs everything you say, feel, and think, imagine the impact of what you repeat daily. Your frequent thoughts shape your identity, beliefs, and, ultimately, your results. How repetition rewires the brain. Studies show that the brain doesn't differentiate between a real experience and an imagined one, as long as it's repeated enough. A famous experiment with basketball players proved this. They were divided into 3 groups. The first group physically practiced free throws. The second group only visualized themselves making successful shots. The third group did no training at all. Surprisingly, the players who practiced only in their minds improved almost as much as those who physically trained. This happens because repetition strengthens neural connections that reinforce behavior patterns. If you spend years telling yourself, I'm anxious or, I'm not good enough, you're training your brain to believe that and act accordingly. On the other hand, those who repeat, I am confident, or, I always find solutions, reinforce that pattern and start acting in alignment with that belief. How this affects your habits. The same principle applies to habits. Your subconscious learns through repetition, not through momentary desires. If you repeatedly engage in negative behaviors, like procrastination or self-sabotage, they become automatic. But the good news is that you can reprogram your mind to create new patterns. The key lies in self-image. If you see yourself as someone who is trying to change but unconsciously identify as the same person you've always been, nothing changes. But when you identify as someone who already has the trait you want to develop, your brain adapts to that new reality. Ask yourself this. What have you been repeating about yourself? If you want to change your life, you need to start by changing how you see yourself. The best way to do this is to replace negative affirmations with positive, realistic statements about who you want to become. But remember, saying it once isn't enough. It's consistency that reprograms your subconscious. Now, try this simple test. Imagine yourself achieving a long-desired goal. Picture yourself as the person who has already accomplished it. What does that version of you think? How do they act? How do they feel? The more you repeat this mindset, the more your subconscious will accept this identity as reality. Final thought, what will you start saying to yourself today? Now you know that your decisions, emotions, and even your identity are shaped by the subconscious. You've learned that subtle stimuli can program your behavior without your awareness, that your choices are often made before your conscious mind engages, that the subconscious doesn't process negations the way we think it does, and that repetition builds your self-image. And the big question now is, how will you use this knowledge? You can continue operating on autopilot or start becoming aware of what truly influences your life. The choice is yours. But before you go, I want to hear from you. Which of these 4 subconscious secrets surprised you the most? Leave a comment below, I read them all. And if you want to keep exploring the mysteries of the human mind and learn how to gain more control over your emotions and decisions, don't leave just yet. There's another video waiting for you that will take your understanding of how your brain works to the next level. Click now and find out.